Hey man, we're coming to the conversation of the sleep factor, and we want to, find out, what does sleep do for us? Do we take it for granted, or is something that we can leverage as strength for our emotional and physical strength? It's coming up after this.
Yo. Listen up.
Check it out.
Channel Africa is taking the digital game higher.
Check it out.
We are taking our digital platforms to the next level. For you, our loyal listener.
You know where we at, right?
New website, a fresh new app, and they're on fire. Anytime, anywhere listening, Channel Africa brings the African sound to you.
It's the bomb, yo.
Stay locked. The future is crystal clear with us. Your new way to experience Channel Africa is almost here. Africa, stand tall and get ready. Step into the heart of the day on the move with Balisa and Benjamin.
Oh man, give me a nap any day and I'll take it. I love my naps, and I'm really, really happy that there are benefits to this. I think I might sleep more after seeing this research paper that has come out recently. It's titled The Sleep Factor, which analyzed data from sleep records that were collected over multiple years through wearable devices, and showed how irregular and insufficient sleep is associated with a higher risk of cardiometabolic conditions, moderate to severe symptoms of depression, heightened mortality, and other negative health outcomes. Well, there were almost up to 40 million sleep records from 105,000 individuals. That's a lot. Let's find out what this data shows us as we unpack it with CEO of Discovery Insure, Robert Attwell. Robert, welcome on the show.
Benjamin, thank you, and good afternoon to your listeners.
I mean, why does Discovery care whether people sleep or not?
Yeah, I mean, Discovery, you've mentioned we have 47 million records of sleep data, and we're in a very unique position where we can overlay that with all of our longitudinal health data, as well as really, really granular driving data. And we're seeing that sleep has a massive, massive impact on your mortality, your morbidity, and how you drive. And of course, for us as an insurer, but ultimately just as a societal imperative, it is important that people sleep well. We do it for a third of our days, and for some reason, everyone feels that they don't do it particularly well. But it's something that is absolutely critical to long-term health.
Mm-hmm. Let's define what sleep is. I mean, now we've got all these devices, and they kind of will tell you whether you are sleeping or not. I think some people, because of their busy schedules, they think a nap is sleep. They think sleep is a nap. We've defined it in ways that kind of adjust to modern contemporary societies and its pressures. But sleep should be sleep, right?
Definitely. So the Vitality Sleep research shows that the benefit comes from sleep based on three key factors. So the first is regularity. So it's going to bed within 1 hour of your normal bedtime. So that's very important. The duration of your sleep. So that should be between 7 and 9 hours for most people. There are, of course, outliers. And then in terms of quality of sleep, really tapping into really good quality deep or REM sleep is very, very important for better health and driving outcomes.
What is REM sleep?
REM is your rapid eye movement sleep, right? It's a very deep state of sleep. It's highly restorative. Your brain is actually surprisingly active, but you go through that sleep cycle in the night, often 2 to 3 times, and you should try get about more than 1 hour of REM sleep a night, if at all possible.
Yeah. Well, we're speaking about quality of sleep, and essentially we all have to sleep. That's just how the body works. That's how the body was created. And if we don't sleep at all, that actually might even cause death. But there are other things that we're not seeing simply because of the quality of our sleep. And we're like, yeah, I'm sleeping every day. I'm sleeping 7 hours, so I should be fine. How can we tell, the difference between the quality of our sleep?
Yeah, so I mean, typically with the wearables have come a really, really long way. I mean, Garmin and Apple have really good sleep scores, and Vitality is now producing a proprietary sleep score, really based on every individual's unique circumstance, which is quite important. Everyone is different. Some people suffer from chronic conditions. Not everyone's sleep is exactly the same. And the idea is that we would be able to tell you whether you are getting good quality sleep based on this new sleep score. And Discovery is also partnered with Aura as the official partner of the Aura Ring in South Africa, really the gold standard in terms of sleep monitoring. But our view is that this should be accessible, right? Something that everyone should be able to track and monitor. So we also integrate a feature into the Discovery app where we can help you monitor your regularity and duration of sleep, and just start the journey of awareness. I think that's where this all begins. I mean, Palesa, I loved what you said earlier around your bedtime routine, and that is just so critical. In terms of being intentional about sleep, rather than the typical doom scrolling that we're all guilty of often at night.
Right, of course, we are very guilty. Even I am guilty. Sometimes it is a little bit part of that routine, but I'm not going to talk about that, Richard. Let's speak about the findings, right? The findings of irregular sleep. We might not think about it too much, like, oh, it's fine, I'll sleep on the weekend. But if we don't get regular, proper sleep, what could be the effects of that?
Yeah, so we see really for people that don't get good quality sleep, a big increase in all risk mortality, about 22%, as well as morbidity and hospital admissions. Those typically come through over a period of a few years. But what is strikingly immediate is the impact on your driving behavior. As soon as you have a bad night of sleep, the next day you're a poor driver. So let me maybe share some stats that are quite interesting. If you have poor regularity and duration of sleep, your risk of having an accident is 30% higher than your peers who have had good quality sleep. Even if by all other measures you're a good driver, if you have bad quality sleep, your response time is worse. And we know even if you have 24 hours of awakeness, that's the same as a blood alcohol content level of 0.1%. So your driving becomes significantly impaired. And what's been really, really interesting is this concept of sleep debt. So sleep debt is what you accumulate if you have multiple nights of poor quality sleep. And drivers with high sleep debt exhibit a 36% higher risk of having an accident. So really putting yourself and fellow road users at risk without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm. It's also interesting because I'm going through the report right now that you've seen a rise of sleep disorders. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think society has just started getting so geared around keeping us awake. I mean, everything in our lives around social media, trying to get our attention, work-life balance. Like, I think society has become quite complex, and we're just seeing more and more people are struggling with sleep, and many people are quite sleep deprived.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, that poor sleep, you've highlighted just one major area, but could you help us understand maybe other areas that it filters into outside of maybe like, okay, I drive well? What would it actually mean also for our physical health and also our mental abilities?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we see where there's lack of sleep, there's a significant increase in depression, kind of mental wellness deteriorates. And we see that people who exercise typically sleep well. I'm not sure if that's correlated or causation, but we see a significant kind of difference between the quality of exercise compared to the quality of sleep, which is, of course, really, really important.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll take a bit of a break and then we'll unpack some of these themes. Sleep health is said to be multidimensional in this report. You speak about sleep regularity, sleep duration, and also sleep quality and sleep timing. Those seem like factors that we all have to kind of make sure that they are in sync, but we'll continue after the break to unpack them.
Hashtag on the move and connect with us. Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really, really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you'll be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Falisa Tawo and Benjamin Mushatama.
We're speaking to the CEO of Discovery Insure, Robert Attwell, about the sleep factor research that analyzed data on the sleep of people over multiple years. And it showed that, insufficient sleep is associated with higher risks of cardiometabolic conditions, depression, heightened mortality risks, and so many more issues, including the way that you drive as well. We continue this conversation with Robert on the line. Robert, very interesting things, especially from an insurer's perspective, that I'm seeing from this report. Of course, it shows here that, this deprivation of sleep or sleep quality has caused 65% higher risk of diabetes, 41% higher risk of obesity, 33% higher risk of coronary heart diseases, which is obviously very worrying. But from an insurer's perspective, claims for sleep disorders with Discovery Health medical schemes have grown 2.8 times from 2008 to 2024. So that means that the lack of sleep isn't just affecting our health, it's also affecting our pockets.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's why this is such an important step to start creating awareness about the importance of sleep. Once we create awareness, we do hope that the nudges we provide clients to improve their sleep quality over time through either personal health pathways or the Vitality Drive program, essentially helps people sleep better. And what they would down the line do is, of course, bring down the cost of sleep-related claims and illnesses, and through that, hopefully come through in the medical scheme as well.
Robert, there's nothing worse than a problem with no solution. People are not sleeping well. The diseases are going up. Mental health illnesses are going up. But how do we get more sleep? I think, is that part of a report? Is that part of the research to say, hey, this is how you can actually find the solution. This is why you should have more sleep, but this is how you can get more sleep.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think the first thing, I don't think people realize how poorly they sleep. I think everyone just assumes that's the way you live is being sleep deprived. So I think firstly, if you know about your sleeping patterns and you get some guidance on that through whatever wearable you have, that awareness is critical. And then it's starting the small steps to become a better sleeper. And the impact you feel daily is rewarding in itself, even above the rewards we're gonna give our clients for sleeping well. But it's taking that first step around sleep hygiene. I mean, we always say the first step is actually just make sure you get to bed at the same time every night. That is a good first step. Yeah. Don't try to become an expert sleeper in one night. And at the same time, everyone has a bad night. Like that happens to all of us. I mean, I have a young family. Don't let the anxiety around sleep cause you to have poor quality sleep. But take small steps and become a better sleeper over time, because you'll feel the benefit over and above the rewards over time.
Yeah, the most cool part of this report is where you guys speak about the architecture of sleep, looking at like interesting levels. And I think people should just go to the Discovery website and check out these different elements of this report, because it's so helpful. You speak about sleep regularity, you speak about sleep duration, sleep quality, sleep timing. Sleep timing is also interesting for me. Could you tell us a little bit about all those different factors? Because, they all have to synergize and balance into each other. And that's where the hard trick of getting it right is.
That is exactly. I mean, the three key things we want people to focus on at first is, so firstly, the duration. Our data shows between 7 and 9 hours is optimal. As soon as you go below 7 or above 9, it actually becomes a little bit destructive. There are, of course, exceptions. We know there's a very small percentage of people who can cope on very little sleep and not be classified as sleep deprived. But that is no longer a badge of honor. I mean, that is a very small subset. So yeah. At the outset, don't assume that you're one of those people that can live on 3 hours of sleep. You'll know very quickly. So sleep duration is very critical. Sleep regularity is just as important. So like making sure that you get to bed. If your typical bedtime is 10 o'clock, make sure that you get to bed within half an hour before or half an hour after that. That's important to make sure that your sleep cycles are really well maintained and it becomes quite predictable for your body. And then in terms of REM or quality sleep, there are factors that influence that. So
Yeah.
if you drink a lot of alcohol, for example, that significantly impacts your REM sleep. You might feel like you're falling asleep faster after having a few drinks, but you wouldn't benefit from these deep sleep stages, which are so critical for the body's repair of critical functions.
Earlier on, you highlighted something that was stood out for me, and you highlighted a term called sleep hygiene, and we kind of overlooked that. I was interested and keen on what you mean about sleep hygiene. What are we talking about there?
Yes, I mean sleep hygienes are the things that you do daily to make sure that your chance of getting the best possible sleep are the highest. And I think Palesa, you mentioned that you also have a bit of a routine, but these are things around making sure that you avoid blue light for the last few hours of the day. So make sure your phone is on a different setting, or avoid your phone, frankly, for the last hour of the day if you can. Making sure that you don't have any red lights. Make sure you have blackout curtains in your room. We've seen it works really well to have a long bath or a shower before you go to bed. So these are just key things that you can do to ensure that your sleep quality has the highest chance of being really, really good.
All right. You know, measuring this whole thing is something that I think will help people with educating themselves around their own health when it comes to sleep, right? The measurement of sleep, do you think it's something that we need to mainstream a little bit more? I know at times we're afraid of giving guys like you too much data of our lives, right? But what do you think about that measuring element that is usually digitized, because we live in an AI era and all the stuff can actually help us make our lives easier?
Definitely. I mean, I think it's the old adage, you improve what you measure. And this is a data point that helps you actually improve the quality of your life. So I think measuring is absolutely critical. And I think given the data insights we're seeing in terms of the actual impact on your health and your life, it doesn't make sense to not measure it. The same way you measure your exercise and your training status, I think it's critical that you understand how you sleep.
Well, where can we go to find this report, Robert? It sounds like an interesting one, and one that can give all of us insight on looking closer into our own sleeping habits, but hopefully to also try and understand where we are with those sleeping habits.
Definitely. So the report is available on the Discovery website. And I think more than just the sleep research, it really explains how we're integrating sleep into our products and are going to be rewarding clients for improving the quality of their sleep, which I think is very encouraging and the right step forward in understanding this risk.
And also, where can people go to find out a little bit more about this report? Because I think it's comprehensive, but it's not too long. So it's an easy to read report. What I like about it is that it's got graphs, it's got images, and it's kind of very tangible for the ordinary sleeper to actually read through.
Definitely. No, I mean, the report has been brilliantly written by the team, very understandable and accessible. I mean, I've enjoyed spending time with it as well. The report is in its full form available on the Discovery website under the media section as well.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for giving us your time there. A very good conversation. Give us that website once again before we say goodbye.
So it's www.discovery.co.za.
All right. Thank you so much for that chat. Sleep, man. It's an important one. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Hey, we've got more excuse to sleep more. You know me and you, we love our sleep. There's one thing we've
definitely
in common.
Good excuses. Yeah.
All right. Robert Attwell, the CEO of Discovery Insure, giving us that research paper called The Sleep Factor. Check it out on Discovery. We usually don't promote stuff like this and privatized work, but this is such a great benefit for you. It will help you very much. So go to discovery.co.za and check this one. I'm going to also read through it in my off time just to help myself on this. Well, it's 11:30 Central African time.